Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to rock? So I finally got around to doing the guitar lesson for Need Your Love by Cheap Trick. So without any further ado, let's bash on. The guitar today, 1982 Greco EG56-60, based on a gold top guitar by an American manufacturer from way back when. So it's in standard tuning, camera 1, camera 2. Let's go. So the song starts off on an E chord, power chord up here on the 7th fret, and then it goes to octaves. It goes down to the D. What I'll do is I'll play the whole thing first and then show you how it goes. There's a lot in there. So it's E chord, and then you hit the E, the 7th fret of the A string, and the octave note on the 9th fret of the G string, down to 2 frets to play in this D octave, back up to the E, then up 2 frets to the F sharp, then up another 2 frets to the G sharp, up 1 fret to the A. Now this bit's a bit trickier. So I'll just give you the root notes on the A string of these octave chords. It's 12, 14, 16, 14, and then back to 12, 14, then 16. And on the G string, every time you're hitting a note on the A, you're hitting 2 notes in front on the G, if that makes sense. So it goes like this. So I'll play the intro so far. And then the last bit, you go back up to the 6th, 16th on the A string and the 18th on the G string, and you start pedal toning on that. So that's the intro. I'll play it slowly all together just so it makes sense. Into the verse. So the verse starts on this E bar chord, on the E minor bar chord, on the 7th fret of the E, 9th fret of the D and G, 8th fret of the B string, and you're barring across with your first finger to catch the 7th fret of the top E, and you're palm muting the E bottom E. You're really just playing the bottom E string. I mean, it's not the full chord, but you need to finger the full chord just to catch you for the next bit. So it's E, now what that is, you're fingering the E minor chord, pull those fingers off and just catch the 7th fret, the D, G strings, hammer on to the E minor chord. So it's hammering on twice. You do that once, and then the next time when you're doing it, when you hammer back on the second time, you're straight into the verse, which is basically just the bottom E string palm muted, and then these octave notes, B, C sharp, to D. So I'll play that so far. plays the octave chords on the 2nd, 4th, 5th frets. Sometimes Robin's playing chords, so I think he's playing the B chord. And then this C sharp, well, it's like an A chord, so you're playing the 2nd fret of the D and G strings, but the root on it is the 4th fret C sharp on the A string into the D. So he seems to be playing it like this. So what I do is, if I'm just doing it with one guitar, I just alternate between those two. So I'll play how I would play the verse. Next part is a bridge part that goes like this. So what that is the 7th fret of the D string over to the 5th fret of the G and B strings and back. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it does that once, and then you go up to the 7th fret of the G, B strings, and you give that a bit of pull. So you do the whole thing 3 times, and then on the last time you bend up the 7th fret of the G string, and then catch the 8th fret of the B and let it down and pull off to the 5th fret of the G string. So I'll play that slowly. And again. And you move that part up 2 frets to start on the 9th fret of the D string. This time you go straight across to the 9th fret of the G and B strings before going down to the 7th fret of the G and B strings. So I'll play that. Now you only play that once, then you move back down to the 7th fret of the D string, starting off on that, but you keep the same pattern that you did before. You go from the 7th fret of the D over to the 7th fret of the G and B. Play that 3 times. Then move up 2 frets again to play it starting on the 9th fret. And finish with this run. Now my friend Alistair tells me that's a D7th chord. But anyway, so I'll play that whole part slowly. I mean, that looks harder than it is. So the 7th chord, here's how I'm playing anyway. It's the 2nd fret. I look at it as a backwards D, so that's a D chord. And if I put the note on the 2nd string back to, that's a 7th. So it's the 2nd fret of the G string, 1st fret of the B string, 2nd fret of the top E. Now you move that up to play the same chord, but this time you're playing it at the 5th fret. And then move it up again to play at the 8th fret. And then finally the 11th fret. You're just playing the top 3 strings and moving the chord shape up. Right, I'll play that whole part. So I'll do it again and I'll focus this camera in so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Then it does the whole of the verse and the bridge again, and it finishes up after it comes out of the... It plays this bit, which is quite tricky to play. I mean, it's not Yngwie Malmsteen difficult to play technically, but it's difficult to keep the rhythm when you're playing this. Rick's really good at that. So it goes like this. I'll do it close on this camera. So you're playing the 5th fret on the G, B strings, and then hammer on to the 7th fret of the G and B strings, pull back off to the 5th fret of the G and B strings, and then the 7th fret of the D. So it's just a repetitive pattern playing those. I'll play it slowly and I'll zoom in here. And it's just a case of getting up to speed, and that moves up to the 10th fret, same pattern, same strings. And then up another 2 frets to the 12th fret. And back to the 5th fret again. Finishes with this bend. So you're bending the 7th fret of the G up, catching the 8th fret of the B. So again, it's like a lot of cheap trick songs that sound, you know, dead simple, but there's parts in it which are really quite tricky. So I'll play the whole thing slowly, that middle bit. And it goes back into another verse. And then it finishes just on the E minor chord again, hammering on. As soon as you finish that last E chord, it goes into the, I'll switch to my pitch pickup, it goes into this riff. Which is Get On by T-Rex. Bang a Gong by T-Rex. And what that is, he's sliding down from a G power chord to an F sharp power chord to an E power chord. So it's 3, 2, open on the bottom E string, and it's the power chord. As soon as you hit that E, you then catch your top E and B strings. So there you go, Need Your Love by Cheap Trick. As I said, I mean, it sounds like a really simple tune. I mean, there's not a whole lot in it, but it's just putting all those parts together. It's the genius of Cheap Trick's songwriting. So I hope I explained it properly. I mean, you might be as well slowing the video down in each part to see how I'm playing it. And I'm trying new lights out here as well, so my apologies if it wasn't the best quality of video. But it's the only teaching video for Need Your Love by Cheap Trick so far on YouTube, so I hope that was okay. Do appreciate you tuning in, folks. Thank you once again. Cheers for now.